We expecting guests? Nope. No.
Hey,
We're gonna rent some furniture here.
stand there, I'm gonna try and see if you can catch us.
What's that?
These are, for those who are here this morning, these are harder than they look.
Yeah, those are plushies.
Someone's like, yeah, they're the film into the audience.
Rock candy.
Yeah, so when we throw them into the audience later.
This is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, you can just stare at yourself.
It's you, it's me. Rather not.
Is that what I look like right now? We look ridiculous.
I know. Ridiculously good. Howdy, y'all.
Buongiorno. What? Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Whatever. Listen, I say hello, you say hello.
Hello? Awesome to be back.
My favorite is the okay.
Okay.
Okay. No, not okay. Okay.
It sounds like a question. Like, yeah, I'm good. Do you need to know where to go? No, I'm good. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm good. Okay. I swear to God, I know it's down the hall to the left. It's gonna be fun. Okay.
Is it in the UK where they say that's all right, or is that Australia?
That's
From
right.
Australia. That one messes me up.
It's all right.
Because like, oh, thank you so much. It's all right. I feel like I just put them out. Yeah. So we say it's like, that's all right. Like, yeah.
They also do the good on you. You're like,
That one I like. I like that. I like to get on you. Or no worries. Like that I can.
it also
I can
seems
roll.
like, oh, you're like, yeah, we went this morning for a walk on the harbor.
Oh, it's like patronizing?
Good on you.
Oh, that's good on you. That's like in the South, we've got bless your heart. Which you can insult somebody as much as you want. And if you tie bless your heart on the end of it, it's okay. You're the dumbest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. Bless your heart. And it's okay.
And it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Alright, now that we've just made all the enemies in the room.
So, for those who don't know, we flew in yesterday, got in yesterday. We had a pretty long layover. We got delayed. And this was my favorite part of the morning. Nice young lady came up and I was signing something. She said, you know, how are you? And stuff. I'm good. I'm good. I actually feel awake though I don't look at it. She goes, oh, I know your face. So then I was trying to open my eyes really wide. Until later, but I love you too, wherever you are. You know. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some questions. We have some people waiting. Let's start right over here.
Hello, boys.
Hello.
My question is, on the set of Supernatural or any other set, had there ever be a moment where you had to overcome your greatest fear or one of your greatest fears to shoot a scene?
Yeah. We didn't have any scenes with bears.
Worst case.
Cliff.
That's right, yeah. Whatever Cliff he is, he's the closest thing to a bear I'm comfortable with. Comfortable adjacent. But you know what came to mind is one of the most nervous times on set of Supernatural that I've ever experienced was during French Mistake, all the comedic stuff. I didn't feel comfortable doing comedy as Sam, so I would get really nervous when Sam had to be funny, because I was like, Sam's not really funny, like he's kind of just chill. You're not supposed to laugh at that, guys. You're supposed to say, no, you're so funny. But I think I got really nervous shooting some of the comedic scenes in French Mistake. Otherwise, it was mostly pretty fun. Even the stunt stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever a greatest fear moment while filming. I mean, we're doing network television, which is pretty tame in the world of TV, and don't really write stuff that I think would be too out of our comfort zone. And after a few seasons, they knew what our comfort zone was, and they kind of played in that and just utilized that. I was more uncomfortable doing stuff in The Boys than I was.
Don't say.
That one was, you know, that guy.
You looked comfortable.
It's called acting, dear boy. I was not comfortable. I was very nervous in a few of those scenes. So much so that I just called my mom and I was like, "You're going to want to skip this show. You're not the target audience." Yeah, but that's. But as far as Supernatural goes, no, they
Have you ever told the story about? It never was shot, but about you finally calling Eric and being like, "Hey, I don't know about."
Oh yeah, I told her there was a few scenes that I was asked to do that I was like, I didn't know I had a line, but you have found my line and I can't cross that line. I have children that may grow up and see this. Yeah, I think there was supposed to be a little bit more revealed when Soldier Boy was revealed for the first time. And then there was supposed to be a little bit more intimacy when Soldier Boy had his fun with the ladies. That being said, it still was. I mean, I think I've told the story before, but my first day on set, very first day on set, was the day that the capsule opens and I step out. And the very first scene that I ever did on The Boys and on that was me stepping out of the capsule.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, in front of a brand new crew, in front of an entirely new cast, and like all of them too. It wasn't just like a scene with like one. It was like all of the boys and all of the crew, and I was just like, "How you doing? I'm Jensen, and this is my life."
Some of the behind the scenes stuff, and I'll post it later.
No pun intended.
I will say the most nervous I ever got on the set of Supernatural for another person was the scene where Sam Winchester gets hit by a car. So it wasn't me, obviously, and also there's no way, like our stunts, even though some were, I don't want to say dangerous, but they were intense, you know, we're like, all right, we're young and fit, and we can take a hit or we can do whatever. But when Mike Carpenter, who was my stuntman that day, got hit by a car, he had short hair, and so they put a bald cap on him, and then they put like just a tiny, I wouldn't even call it a helmet. It was like almost like a thick liquid padding, and then the sand wig.
Like a gel.
Like a
gel pad.
And that's all he had covering his skull, and then he has to get hit by a car, and there's no way to really control it. There's no way, like, okay, I'm gonna jump out this window, and I'm gonna spin once and land in pads. It's like, hey, you're getting hit by a car, like, try not to land on your head when you're flipping and flopping through the air. And so that happened, we watched it, and we were all like, is he gonna get up? And he got up. And then the second time, his foot got caught on the bumper, and he got dragged. It was. Yeah, and then I think he went a third time, and then he got up, and stunt actors and actresses, they're usually like, I'm good, they'll have a broken bone that's obviously broken, and be like, we need to do it again? Cool. This time he got up, and he was like, I'm done, and so we all just kind of clapped, and yeah, that was the most nervous I got for somebody else. Just go back to The Boys real quick, there's a scene where I pick up Carl Urban's character, Butcher. He's like, I've knocked him down to the ground, and I come up behind, I grab the back of his collar, and he's face down, and I literally go up and over my body and slam him into a desk. And the stunt guy, obviously it wasn't Carl, but they wired up a stunt guy so that there was a wire, so because it's supposed to be super strength, right? So one arm just flinging a human body, and they basically, like, as I did this, the wire got pulled, but then at the apex, they just let the wire loose, and so I'm slamming him into as hard as I can. They're not feathering it down,
And I remember the first time I did it, I was like, oh, this is gonna feel so cool. And I went, ah, oh gosh, are you okay? And his name was Brian. He just popped right up and he's like, yeah, let's do it again. And I'm like, I don't wanna. But we did it many times. And that guy's a champ. So, but yeah, it was really. And then after I got used to it, then I just felt like a beast. Yeah, that was crazy. Thank you so much.
First of all, I want to thank you for being here and for everything you're doing for everyone, always.
Thank you.
And my question is actually, since you're already talking about like really crazy things, what's the stupidest injury you ever got, like on any set?
Well, how much time you got?
Some.
I've probably got a list of, I know we both have a list of these. I'll go with the first one that comes to mind, and it was Wendigo, I think, when I was pulling the gun out of the back of the Impala.
Was that Hookman?
Oh, it was Hookman, that's right. So very early on, but I was grabbing a long gun, I was grabbing a rifle, and I pulled it from the center of the gun, and the butt of it caught the trunk edge, and the barrel of the gun came up and hit me right square in the eye. So I did it to myself, but of course I was all Dean-like, and I was like, and it split me open. That was pretty stupid. And self-inflicted too, so no one to blame but me.
I had one, and you're gonna know where I'm going with this. Leviathan Salmondine in the bank. Yeah.
This is one of my favorite Jared bonehead moves.
So we walk into the bank as Leviathan Salmondine, and we're supposed to go and fire off some rounds, get everybody's attention. And I guess, the frame ends here, and so we do what we do, and we lift our guns up and fire, but my gun was too high and they couldn't see it, and so like, we just need you to keep it lower. And I was like, okay, fine. And so we do the next take, and instead of holding it up and going and shooting, I held it lower, and this gun that I was using, I'd never shot a gun like this before. It was a
Had it been a normal ejection,
yeah,
you would have been fine. But this was some weird.
Ejected up.
It was like a weird Russian.
Yeah, it was like a
semi or fully automatic machine gun.
Yeah, and so we go do the next take, and so I hold it lower, and when we walk in, because I want to get the gun in the frame, I hold it low and start firing, and something is hurting. Like I immediately feel something's wrong. And so I stop. I'm like, I think I gotta do something different. And I look over at Jensen, he's kind of looking at me. And so as I was shooting and the casings are ejecting, I had a lot
which is hot brass.
Hot brass. It was like going
just across his face. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4. So they were just hitting him in the face. But I just love that he just kept going. He was like, and he had essentially ash burn marks.
And some were bleeding from the impact. So it was like hot brass, and then some, they were coming out pretty hot.
Oh, yeah.
And coming out pretty fast. And so where there's just bone, like my giant forehead, it cut it. It cut my head. I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that again.
That was dumb.
So that was probably my dumbest. But thank God
Again, we have a lot of those moments.
Yeah. And it was happening so fast that if the gun had been just a little bit lower, it just would have gone right in my eyeball. So that would have been very bad. 9 lives on this one. Thank you for your question. Thank you.
So if you were to attend a convention and meet people like we are doing this weekend, who would a couple of your dream guests to meet be?
Oh, I see. If we were there.
If you were us, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can't choose yourself.
Do you have another question? great question. It's similar to like if you could have dinner with somebody, who would it be? And I guess my initial response is like, are they going to be honest? You know, and like if I met with Barack Obama, or if I met with, you know, some world leader, would they tell me the truth, you know, or would they just give me canned answers? I think I'd probably go mostly to musicians, just because, like, Eddie Vedder or something.
No, Jason and Billy gave the exact same answers. All theirs were musicians as well.
Yeah, I think actors bore me. Well, not you.
Because I'm not an actor.
Well, I find myself boring, so I feel like the soundtrack to my life is what I would kind of go to.
Yeah, I would say I instantly go to musicians as well, although they don't really do conventions like this per se. It is definitely more of an actor thing to do. That being said, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to sit and hear what. I think Keanu Reeves is an interesting. I'm trying to think of who I would want to listen to answer questions and speak about things involved in the industry. I wouldn't mind sitting in on some of the Marvel, a Downey Jr. And strictly for just kind of curiosity purposes, not like, oh my God, Iron Man. I just think he's an interesting fellow who has lots of interesting things to say about topics that I could relate to. And yeah, so I would do it more for kind of curiosity purposes. But yeah, there's to name a couple.
Thank you very much. Love you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'll be back.
We know you got a few new tattoos over the last 2-3 years. Would you like to talk us through? We'd be curious.
There's a new one I just got. My pants are on to the side.
I think I haven't gotten anything new in a while. I got this little thumb guy, which I think it explained was I was with Jeffrey D. Morgan. We were at a friend's wedding in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and
Naturally.
our wives were doing something with the bride and things, and we had the afternoon free. So naturally, as you do when you're with Jeff, you go for beers and tattoos. He got a few more than I did. I limped in with just one, but that was the story behind that. Yeah, you've gotten a few more than I have recently.
Yeah, I have a few on the list that I haven't gotten yet. I think probably most recently, so we all know we got the Basquiat crown together with JDM at his wedding. And then the day after Supernatural finished, which was September 11th, 2020, my buddy Bruce and I went to his tattoo artist in Vancouver, and I got this little, it's like a geometric design, it's just a bunch of lines. And I love when people ask me what it is, because they're like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's an ancient Sumerian. Like, no kidding, what does it mean? And I'm like, iPhone update. So we just literally went to, it didn't mean anything. We just liked what it said, and we liked how it looked, what it said. And then so I kind of did a little dot on him, he did a little dot on me. I have the star on my bicep. I have a come and take it kind of thing, which was really cool because I think a month later, come and take it became, at least in Texas, became like a woman's rights kind of thing, like come and take my rights. So it's kind of like, yeah, badass. And then I have an homage to Dr. Seuss, or the places you'll go, and mine is a little different. It's got T for Tom and A for Austin, which is Shep's name, and there's a little moon for Odette from one of my favorite passages in Dr. Seuss. But yeah, there's some more. Do you have some?
Yeah, I got two. I got this famous one, and I got one for my favorite band.
Awesome. What's the famous one and what's the band?
Your AKF.
Oh, amazing.
And this is the band called Aha. It's no.
I know Aha.
It's my favorite is that I got an album artwork on my own.
Very cool. I think he and I both tried to hit the high note from Take On Me. Tried.
Failed.
We both tried and failed. That's
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
I'm Nikki from the Netherlands, and me and my partner go to a lot of costume events, and I've heard
Custom events?
costume
got it.
events. And I've heard Jensen and you talk about going to like rent fairs with your family, and I've seen Jensen cosplay as Batman and Red Hood, and I was wondering if you ever go to Comic-Con, or maybe you're ready to dress up, maybe incognito like Adam Savage does. What would you dress up as?
I've already got the Red Hood and the Batman outfits, so I kind of feel like those would probably be my go-to. Besides those,
Bullwinkle?
yeah, Rocky Bullwinkle. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think we'd do well. Boba Fett? I'd like something with a mask. Just 'cause I like the experience of being around people who are all passionate about stuff and it not being flavored by like, aren't you that guy who was on Gilmore Girls? And that's it. Yeah.
I'd go as the Scream character, because that just seems very comfortable.
I did. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. I did that one when I went and sat in the Impala.
That's right. Who do you like to, or is there a genre that you like the best?
Well, I usually go to like Victorian events.
Uh-huh.
Like Victoria's Secret? You don't have to tell us. You can keep it a secret.
Keep a Victoria's secret.
Or like Victorian balls.
Yes. That's a big secret. Have you seen his Victorian? We didn't sleep a lot.
And Jared's back. I told myself I wouldn't start this early, but...
It's not that early. I think it's like 11 p.m. or something.
Somewhere.
Well, I like the sound of Victorian balls. I mean, I like balls. I like secrets.
And if you want to experience one, it's actually a Victorian wedding, which is mine next year. If you want to come.
No way. That's awesome. Is everybody getting dressed up?
Yes, every guest should be
Is
dressed up in
Victorian?
Victorian. Yeah, it's in a big castle in Belgium. No lingerie, Jared.
Well, I don't know. I'm cosplaying. That's Victoria Beckham.